Hi everyone, I'm Nora at Norce, your virtual guide to Norce Commerce. In this video, we continue exploring the product page, looking into the settings tab, and all the different possibilities that are there. Let's go! You can click on the settings tab from the product page to see all the different types of settings you can manage. If you are on a product with variants, you might notice that you have different options such as all variants, or if you want to look at a specific variant. This is common for many of the tabs on the product page. First, we will look at the all variants options. The first two settings, manufacturer and primary category, are mandatory when you create the product. Here you can choose to update their values. There are also more optional settings, such as additional categories, which lets you add the product to many more places in the category tree, and family, which is a whole different way to classify the product that is not bound to its category structure at all. For example, a product series or a particular design. I choose to add my jacket to some of the additional categories and families, which will help with navigation on my e-commerce site later. The next section contains all the configured product flags with a whole flag group for each line. Product flags are tags on the product that Norce's internal business logic can use, or can be used by your setups of the admin tool itself, like filters, reports, or dashboard elements. Your e-commerce site might also use it outside of Norce Commerce. A flag group can allow for only one flag to be set, or any of them. You can see this by observing how the choices are displayed. Drop lists display single values, while tags display multi-choice options. Lastly, there are a couple of built-in options here. They are pied and top lists, which disables the product from all listings and rankings based on transactional history, like popularity ranking. The other checkbox is dangerous goods. When enabled, only delivery methods that allow dangerous goods will ship the product. Now, let's look at the options for a specific variant. If there are no variants for the product, the options are displayed directly at the product level. First, you see a group of choices called settings, which are important core options in Norce. Part No is short for part number and is your own identifier of the variant, while manufacturer part number is the variant identifier used publicly in the supply chain. Usually, these are not changed after creation, but you can, if you have to, from here. To change the part number, you must first unlock it by pressing the lock symbol. Type is a built-in type of the product in Norce that lets you decide how it should behave. You can read more about product types in the documentation. Status and status activation let you see and plan the product lifecycle. For example, a product with the status coming might have a start date later this week, and it will be automatically switched to active. GS1 number like an EIN can be set here if you have it. Unit can override the unit of measurement from the primary category, and you can also define how many of a specific unit that is contained in the product. The second grouping here is the logistics, containing mostly options that the shipping rules can use. Width, height, and depth are dimensions of the packaged product and can help some freight services, like calculating and selecting a valid shipping method. The actual weight is the weight of the product in its packaging and can also help calculate the freight. You can also set the weight at the primary category, but it can be overridden here at the product level. Commodity code can also be set at the primary category or be overridden here at the product page. It is a code used for importing or exporting goods. Recommended quantity suggests how many of the products that should be added to a cart by default. Let's say we were in the business of selling car tires. This might be set to 4, since most buyers would want to buy 4 tires at a time. You can optionally also set the recommended quantity to fixed, which will stop Norce from allowing any other quantity in the cart than the recommended, or a whole multiple of the number. For our tires, this would force us to only sell none, 4, 8, or 12, and so on. Stock breakpoint is an optional value that can be validated when the availability logic should change its behavior in the front-end application. Read more about this in the documentation. And dropship only is a checkbox that marks the product for dropship and changes how Norce's business logic should behave due to that. Finally, there are variant flags that operate in the same way as product flags, except that they can be set differently for different variants of the same product. So in summary, the Settings tab gives you a place to overview and manage the different built-in settings on the product and variants in Norce Commerce. Here you can work with the identifiers of the product, like part numbers from your own solution, as well as from the manufacturer. Product classifications, like categories, manufacturers, families, product types, and commodity codes, as well as both product and variant flags. Plan your product's life cycle with product status and its status automations. Logistics information, such as dimensions and weight, used by shipping logic. And lastly, buying information that controls the purchase behavior, like recommended quantity or the drop ship only option. Good luck!